keep it in the end drive, which is a different beast. Because
Yeah,
that thing has been inaccessible for like 5 weeks. Let me take a look right now.
well, the
That's
little
maybe where she's keeping her.
document thing,
Hang on one
that
second.
deletes all my stuff. I can't use it.
Hang on one second. This right here was down at the end of last week, and it had been down for a couple weeks. Now that could, let me see if we can get into it. Okay, that maybe is where she's keeping stuff. I don't know. The problem with videos, this is why I throw my crap on YouTube, because I mean, I don't know if YouTube's gonna crash either. It's got issues, as you've seen every once in a while. I have a hard time
Well, the
uploading
weird
to
thing
it.
is they're all YouTube videos, but some of them are YouTube videos that play through the multimedia on the thing, and none of them all file.
Well, that's
It's the
Well,
weirdest
so she
thing.
gives you the link to YouTube, you can watch it directly through
Yeah,
there.
what she ends up doing is
Oh, yeah.
just like
That's easy enough.
pulling up Google, and some of them she can find, some of them she can't find.
She doesn't put it in a playlist or anything like that? I gotta find a little about that, figure it out.
They're just random videos from like SNL and.
Oh, then you have, okay, then you put them in your playlist. So that's something I learned last year right off the bat, was that it's such a pain in the rear to try to keep track of that stuff. So that's why I just stuff it in
Yeah, she
folders.
just has a big folder of videos on
Yeah,
her thing,
that's
and she
not-
types in the keywords in her.
That's a terrible way.
list
It's
of
just, it
folders.
gets too big and too unwieldy. Like that works for like a term, but she's been here for 10 years like me, and then it just gets unwieldy, and you have to like get a little more organized. Just because I'm with her on
They're
that.
great videos,
My
but
fellow-
now we
my
can't
fellow-
watch any of
My
them.
fellow spaz that can't keep track of stuff either.
You can't watch any of them?
The network destroyed them all.
That's
When it
weird.
went
Well,
down.
the network can't destroy a YouTube video,
I,
unless we're like
none of them
God.
play.
Well, that's a different story. That doesn't mean destroy it, it means the link is broken to
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah.
All she's got to do is go straight to the YouTube source, and you've got your videos. What up, Andrea?
Oh.
Hi, Andrea. If you're watching.
Oh, is that
So,
one?
It's fun.
Oh.
We're solving the world's problems. M&M's coming up next. So anyway, last week, almost done. Take a look at your projects. It looks like there are a couple of mistakes made with grading where somebody made a mistake at one point. I promise you guys this never happens. Every once in a while it does, just like the cloud going down. So if you make a mistake in one point and then continue the mistake all the way down, you're only supposed to lose points at the first point of a mistake. And then if you finish correctly, and that's the if you finish correctly, you don't lose points. So if you did lose points inadvertently after, and Kate, you mentioned the biggest one that I think people miss is because when you look at that pipe and the stuff coming out of this estimated to be half gas, half oil, you have to take whatever you're estimating and cut it in half. And I think a lot of people just glanced over that and misread that. So if you forgot that, whatever, you lose those points. But then if you finish the math correctly with the wrong numbers, you'll get exactly twice too much fuel coming out of the pipe. So take a look and see if that happened to you, we'll give you the points back. But you have to finish it correctly, that's kind of the point there too. So, make sense? Got a bunch of stuff in there. I think I graded your quizzes from last week. I think they're all graded by me. They're all in class quizzes from last week, so they were all the iPod randomizer. I don't see our stack of templates. Oh, is it? Oh, here we go. iPod randomizer, and then there were a couple. Very few people did the out of class stuff last week, which is totally fine. I still put solution videos up for it if you need them. There were two other ones we did too, and I can't remember what they are now. Anyway, they're all in there. If you saw graded in Sharpie, that was me. So I tried to knock it out because Emily was out of town and Amber didn't want it because she was busy last week, so I just did it myself. They look great. You guys are getting the hang of this. I mean, I know it doesn't feel like it. It's like, you guys, it's like, I don't think I am. You are. They can see it across the board. The only things you're making mistakes on are minor, like teeny, tiny minor things. And it's because I'm making you write things, like describe the variable being tested. That's annoying. That's annoying, but I've noticed that students forget what they're actually doing. It's that whole forest trees thing. If I don't make you write down what you're actually doing, it becomes this automated process of plugging numbers into technology and being like, oh, I got this x squared equals, okay, well, what is that a measure of? And you'll see it again today. And hopefully we'll keep you guys defining what's actually going on. So, what else? Have you guys had the chance to crack open the last exam?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It's opening. Good. The network hasn't corrupted that. Thank God. you can get quite a bit of that done right now. I was going to say most. I'm not sure if most is the right. Yeah, I bet you it is most. Now that you understand what a goodness of fit test is, you can totally knock out that. You can knock out the Excel part. You can know what a p-value is. You can knock out what the p-value part is because you know what a p-value is. What else is on there? Yeah, you can knock out quite a bit of that actually. Maybe even all of it by this point, which is really great. One last project. It's an emailed in one. It's a linear regression. It's a well-behaved Excel spreadsheet. Because the reason it's a project and not in class is a number of reasons. It's kind of, it's in the curriculum, so it's part of what's taught in 244. But it's an oddball. It's oddball enough that it doesn't fit our flow chart. Let me crack the flow chart open again real quick. We'll take a look at that. Actually, let me crack 20's flow chart. This is our last test we'll look at today. So the project you're about to do doesn't fit our beautiful little flow chart of hypothesis testing. So if you think about it, we're testing mu, we're testing little p. 1's 2 and more than 2, 1, 2 and more than 2. Right now we're in the middle of doing this. This was the iPod, this was the M&M experiment that we kind of finished halfway in the middle of on Wednesday. Your project deals with what's called bivariate data, which is you've got an X and you've got a Y, and you're trying to see if there's a relationship between them. Trying to see if there's a relationship. Happens all the time. Michael Lawler right now, he teaches over at U of O anthropology. He wants me to crunch a bunch of regression analysis on some data he's got. He's got endangered species percentage per country, and he's data mining because he wants to see if things like literacy rates and child mortality and percent of development of the country is somehow related to these species endangered rates. And I have no idea if it is or not. I mean, that's when you start looking. You start throwing stuff into a chart and you look. You say, well, is there a relationship? Maybe there is. That's what your project is about, is measuring that relationship. See if there is a relationship between an X and a Y. These are all single variable tests. They're testing one variable, one proportion or one mean. I know there are sometimes more than one of them, like 2 proportions and 3 proportions. But it's still just proportions. It's not an X influencing a Y or a Y influencing an X. So that's why I relegate it to a project. That's the first reason. The second reason is most textbooks teach it dumb, in my opinion. They teach it as a hypothesis test like this, which is stupid, because then it gets truly lost. Students get truly lost in what they're doing. Whereas they should be using technology to generate this R value, which hopefully you've got a chance to look at now. And that R value is ish like a P value, but nobody uses P values in the world with linear regressions. They only in stat textbooks, only in academic realms. They use R values, which that's what your project is doing, is using the R value. So, that's why it's your last project. And it's emailed in, you don't have to print it. Please don't try to print it. I had somebody try to print it last term, they got pissed at me because it printed like 82 pages or something. This thing sucks! I'm like, that's why I told you to print it. It doesn't say that, it says it right there. Just read. I know it's a tad wordy at the end, but there's a reason for the tad wordiness too. It's actually guiding you through what you should have done by the end. So, yes? Yes. 2 more classes and you stop dealing with all this rule crap. Yes?
Can you either print those out or stick them on the
Okay,
website?
somebody's supposed to email me, nobody did. Yes, happily. Somebody emailed me and I will happily do that. I forgot. So as soon as you said that, I'm like, crap, I was supposed to do it on Wednesday. But I never got an email reminding me, so somebody remind me to do that. And I'll happily post it for you. I'll happily post. Good! Then I will post it when I get back to the office later on today. Yes, I will. Happily. It is for you. I mean, I wish it was actually multi-dimensional. Say that again?
It's all changing on the big wall.
Well, I would. I print it in high def, make it like poster size. The idea is for you to take this with you. I mean, I wish it was actually more rich. Like, I wish there was more on it than what is on it. But then I run the risk of it looking like that distribution list I showed you guys in 243 that caused mass vomiting. So, it's big enough, I guess. It's big enough for our purposes. I think your next stat course you're going to learn more stuff. Cool? Alright. So let's get back. Let's make sure we understand this idea of a goodness of fit test. And then we're going to bring the break data back. It actually got dry enough for about a 4-hour period on Saturday where I could actually collect some more data with the breaks. Thank God. Then it rained all day yesterday and it freaking snowed like two minutes ago. So I got a window where the road conditions were the same as they were when me and Max collected our first data. So I collected some more data. So then we can get into this and figure out how to deal with this monstrosity. And it is a pure monstrosity. That's why we're going to rely heavily on technology to help us with that. But again, it's fairly straightforward because it's just about a p-value. It's all about a p-value. We'll get into that. We might hang us over into Wednesday, and that's okay. All right, so this is a lot of crap to look at right now. A lot of crap to look at. I want to make sure that you're only looking at what you have to look at.